Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I'm your host, Tate, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Sai. He is the founder of Hadarian Dragons and the co-founder of Dragma Labs. How are you doing today, Sai?
I'm good, thanks, Tate. Good to see you. Good to be on the Alt Kings. Happy to be here. So, I've seen your show before, seen the high energy, and I'm feeling ready for it.
Very happy to have you. I've heard many great things about your project. You continue to build in this space. You are arguably one of the OGs in this space. You've been here for, honestly, your project's one of the longest building projects within this space, from my understanding. And it's an honor to finally have you on this the podcast. And I look forward to diving deeper into Dragma Labs. Now, with that being said, what was the inspiration behind Dragma Labs, and what kind of brought all of it to life?
Firstly, thank you for your nice comments. I really appreciate that. Secondly, going on to the inspiration behind the Dragma Labs. I mean, to be honest, I won't go into all of the inspirations, because for me, as soon as I got into the space, as soon as I became a kind of creator or project lead in the space, that was about September, October, November, around that time, 2021. And I think a lot of people do it, don't they? There's like two sides of the NFT space. You kind of have that high energy kind of hype side of it, and then you have the kind of utility side of it and the builder side of it. And for me, it was the builder side that I gravitated to, definitely, just because Hedera, it became apparent very quickly to all of us, I think, that there was a lot of potential for real use cases for the NFTs. And, if you're going to build on a network that can give you all those use cases, then why not try to build some of them and leverage some of them? In the early days, I did ask myself a lot of questions about the NFT space in general. I'd been on Ethereum and Solana, not so much Solana, but more on Ethereum with NFTs. You ask yourself questions about, like, how do you make a project that's sustainable? How do you develop a real brand that has the fundamentals to survive on the long term and really become something special beyond the kind of speculation era of NFTs, right?
Yeah.
And lots of the kind of problems I saw, I had lots of questions, and many of them went unanswered for a long time. And then Dragma Labs, that's how I describe it to people. I've got a shelf full of questions that I haven't been able to answer, and I kind of save them for a rainy day where when I'm driving long distance, I'll just sit there and be like, okay, there's a problem. Let's see if I can solve this while I'm on this drive or whatever. And the shelves kind of are fairly empty now with Dragma Labs, because it kind of killed many birds with one stone. But the main real inspiration behind Communifi, which is kind of the concept that underpins it, although it sounds cheesy, kind of is the Hedera community, and it is the Web3 community and the nature of Web3 communities. What we hear about more and more is how connected we are with the internet and all of these things. Twitter, I'm closer to you guys than I am to most of my friends in real life.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, 100%. And you're my mates, right? You're my community. And when you actually, and we always hear the same conversations in spaces as well. This idea that, if you actually look at all the people in a Twitter space and you think, imagine if all of us worked together, what we could do. And really that's what inspired it. The philosophical decentralization, the idea of collaborating with a bunch of different people with a bunch of different skill sets just to build something really cool, leveraging modern technology and hopefully preparing ourselves for careers, continuing to leverage that technology, and build brands with the technology.
Definitely. If we all work together at the end of the day,
as opposed to as an island, doing it with the community and empowering the community to be a part of it and to leverage it, to build off it. That was really the inspiration behind Communifi, because we have the technology to do it, we have the community to do it. So, it's this thing, if we're stronger together, it's been a thing for centuries, right? But you don't really see it much, and I see an opportunity for it, so we're going for it, right? And we've found our partners. We found people with common interests that we're starting off with. Our core team is purely a collaboration, so no one is on a salary. Everyone's just in it together to build this really cool platform, and we'll get paid what we deserve from the platform. And the partners are kind of the next layer of the onion, where we've got collaborators from different projects. We're going to work together to build out use cases that each of our projects can benefit from. And then you've got other projects on the next layer. We can reach out to them and give them use cases on the platform. And then you've got the community, who obviously, by having this platform that has shared use cases for all of these different projects, it means that you benefit the entire community as well, and you provide a platform where the community can just unite and have fun. So that's the idea. I mean, we haven't really talked about the what the platform does exactly, but that's the inspiration. Is we've got great community, we've got a lot of talent. Let's bring it together. Let's create a platform that can mutate with all of this fun and talent and community.
That's incredible. I mean, if we all work together at the end of the day, we could probably build something like Hedera, I think.
So let's do it. Let's do it.
That's true. Why not build on it rather than build it itself?
Yeah.
So Dragma Labs, in a sense, is a community-driven ecosystem that facilitates brand development through shared token economics. Correct?
Yes. Well, shared token economies, right? So
economy, you're right.
Everyone can still have their own token, everyone can still have their own ecosystem, but by having a shared token economy, we can generate use cases and value for their tokens, because, the community can rally around these use cases like gaming and entertainment and have fun with it and use all of these tokens that we've got on Hedera Token Service. And we want to bring use cases to everyone and to communities, and affordable, accessible. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars to bring a use case to your project anymore, because Communifi is going to be the start of shared use cases that everyone can leverage. Because it's hard to build in isolation. We've got a lot of islands, and we're trying to start this creation of continents where we can have stability, strength, and innovation together.
Start the beginning of Pangea.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
so you have
ultimately, the potential of this idea, we don't know what it is, right?
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless, and obviously some of those possibilities are very ambitious. It's very kind of idealistic what we're doing, but at least on a basic level, we know it's going to work because we've already got the buy-in from different projects. There's already other projects that aren't part of the partnership that we're developing assets for and collaborating with. It's happening. So we know it's happening at some level. It's just a question of where will it go, and we're happy to kind of just ride that wave, really.
Today's episode of the Alt Kings podcast is brought to you by X-Spectre. So you're partnered up with about 10 projects currently speaking. How will these projects implement themselves within Dragma Labs, and what will their roles really play out within, the whole entire economy based around Dragma Labs?
Okay, so the partners, the ones that we have to start with, so we have Gen 1 partners. It's an open partnership that we intend to grow over time and have open to other projects within the community and brands. The partners that we have to start with have specifically been chosen essentially by me because, it starts somewhere, right? I don't want it to be on me, but this is where it started. I know them all really well. I've got to know them. I speak to them regularly, and I know most of them since pretty much day one in NFTs on Hedera. And they're people who put a lot of time in. They're builders. They're here to innovate. They really care about their communities. They've got so much skin in the game that I don't think it would be profitable for them to rug, kind of thing. They're just projects that I see as just pillars of the community that I see sticking around, that I can depend on, who are open-minded, and they realize the benefit of what, it's easy to say, I'm all about community, I'm all about collaboration, but, spending some time in the space, you realize who's just saying that and who really actually does it. And these are all teams that are proven that they are willing to tear the walls down, work together for the benefit of their businesses and for the community. And so that's why they were chosen, is that they're diehard builders who grind and really care about creating an amazing Hedera ecosystem.
You mind running them by me? What are the 10 projects by chance? I know you've released 9 so far. You don't have to say that 10th if you don't want to.
When's this releasing? I'm going to
give it about a week and a half, 2 weeks. You'll probably have that 10th released by then, so you might as well. I think you have the time now.
It's sometimes a bit difficult to go off the top of my head, but Hedarian Dragons obviously is one of the founding ones. Elysian NFT, Ethan, who's behind Elysian NFT, he's the co-founder of Hedarian Dragons. Barpunks, Nigel, who's behind Barpunks, he's one of our coders who's working on the Dragma Labs platform. And then we have Meta Zombies, we have Potluck Protocol, Pandemania, Creamies, Cyber Hedera, Rooster Cartel, and the last one which we're announcing this evening is Atlantis.
Nice. Those are all respected and well-rounded projects, in my opinion. And I think that I look forward to hearing more about what they'll be able to do within Dragma Labs and what their roles will more or less play out to be.
Yes, so the pitch to them specifically is we're going to build use cases together. And obviously, the Dragma Labs team to start with is going to be pushing that. We're going to be pushing the initial use cases. So we're going to be building those, and they're going to be able to benefit from them. So with our marketplace, suddenly they'll have a networked, connected community marketplace where they can use all their tokens and their community can spend all their tokens, as well as everyone else who's not a partner. But they have voluntary fees, the partners. We will be pushing for high fees because we think that's good tokenomics. And we want to give more rewards to our holders because we do have NFTs for the project and they will be benefiting from the revenue streams for the protocol. The idea is for the benefit to the creator, to the project, is that we bring use cases to them. The benefit to their community is we bring use cases to their community. And what we expect from projects, the expectation and kind of commitment that they've made in becoming partners is that they are willing to tear down the walls. We're not expecting them to, I'm not going to launch Dragma Labs and go to Creamies and say, right, I want all your code now. It doesn't work like that. It's got to be a process. Definitely. And this partnership has to develop over time. But the idea is that in principle, all of these projects are willing to pull down their walls, work together. And, each of us, we do need to develop our tool sets. And it's pointless for 10 different projects to develop the same tool. Why don't we we could pay a tenth of the cost to pay for it to be created on one platform that we can all share, that we know will get traffic because it's a platform that has shared use cases for the entire community, and make it affordable, accessible for everyone, and guarantee that people will use it because of that community element. So lots of benefits for them, lots of benefits for the community, but the requirement is that, you have to be willing to collaborate. It can't just be words. If you're not willing to collaborate and you're not being a good partner, then we expect our holders to vote you out of the partnership, essentially, because the community will, with the NFT collection, and we can talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but with the NFT collection, the holders will be driving who's a member of the partner, who we're launching, who goes on our marketplace, who we incubate. That's going to be down to the community predominantly.
So it's kind of like a DAO, you'd say. That is,
you could call it a DAO.
Evolved around from the NFTs.
Yeah, we're not calling it a DAO yet. We're still working on how we'd like to frame it, so that we're not getting our community in any trouble or ourselves. We don't think DAOs are necessarily the answer. Essentially
a council, I'd say then, in other words.
Yeah, or at least like a panel.
Gotcha.
Right? So not every decision will go through the community. We don't want to make decision-making boring. We want it to be fun. Again, every element, everything that we're doing, every thing you do on the website, we're trying to make it fun. We're not trying to create like a stale, boring, overly analytical website. We're trying to create a platform that's fun. but the 1,500 NFTs, the Dragma founders tokens, that's the collection that we're initially launching, and that's what kind of constitutes the holdership. And yeah, the idea is to have fairly early in our roadmap, we plan to have a voting protocol so that anyone who wants to be on our launchpad, they can be, and we can incubate them from mint to market. We intend to do that. We intend to onboard a lot of Web2 artists. We're already working on that to get them launched on the launchpad. But mint to market, we can mint for them, we can market for them, we can have a feature in our gallery, we can introduce them to the rest of the players that are involved with Dragma Labs. We can. And then if the community wants to launch those projects and wants us to go through that process of incubation and things like that, then as soon as they apply, we put it through the voting protocol. The community says yes or no. And once they say yes, we put that through and they launch with us. If they say no, then sorry, that's just the way it is. It's community led. And hopefully by having a really good holder base, hopefully towards 1,500 holders, hopefully that will also act as a kind of community verification process as well, because it's them who, you've got 1,500 people or potentially 1,500 people doing their due diligence and assessing how good a project is and how much of a potential rug it is, essentially, right? Hopefully, projects that are launched with us, people can mint them more confidently than they might otherwise because they've got that community sign-off. And hopefully projects will want to launch with us because they're confident that they deserve that kind of community verification.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And it's nice to have those partner projects because it makes you more established and more well-rounded in regards to who you're connected with and who they are connected with. It just grows the tree and the branches exponentially over time. Absolutely. And what I'm curious about now is, what was the whole entire idea behind launching the Launchpad in the marketplace? Considering that we have Launchpad in marketplaces like Zeus, Hedera Sentient. I believe Atlantis isn't necessarily a marketplace, but it is a Launchpad. So will Atlantis actually be creating the Launchpad for you guys, or is that already established? And kind of why are you entering this space where there's already a lot of, I guess, competitors, I'd say? What's kind of making that, what kind of pushed that for you guys?
So, firstly, one of the major things that we're offering is if you're a creator or a brand, then you can launch or sell stuff for any fungible token, right? So you could use HBAR, Dragma, Source, HSuite, even SD, the Stata token, HBARX. You can use any token you like. You can accept any token you like. So that means that, all those projects out there who are kind of building their own little marketplace, they can maybe not spend that $5,000 and just get it free, right? And the reward scheme that we have connected to that, the fact that through our gaming and other reward schemes, competitions, things like that, bounties, because of that element as well, it means that we create a really good tokenomics mechanism for projects. So normally if I release Dragma, the Hederian Dragons token, to my holders through staking, and then I sell NFTs to my holders, all I'm doing is I'm decentralizing the supply of Dragma through staking and then re-centralizing the supply by selling items for Dragma, right? Which is not good tokenomics. Like, eventually my holders are going to say, hang on, you've got all the Dragma. Still, this isn't working. This isn't how you build a tokenomy. Tokenomies don't work that way. That's not a viable model for tokenomics. But what we can do, like for Dragma, for example, anything that we sell for Dragma, we're going to have super high fees, because what we can do is we can list stuff for Dragma. Hederian Dragons holders, who are the whales in Dragma, can go and buy that stuff. And then all of that Dragma can be put into our rewards and redistributed to the 1,500 holders of the Dragma founders tokens. So it actually creates an automatic redistribution mechanism rather than having an automatic recentralization mechanism, right? So we're constantly, and we're not just going to have the 1,500 holders. If you're a holder of the Dragma founders token, you'll have lifetime access to gaming and to the reward schemes. but there'll be subscriptions schemes as well, and we're going to be pushing hard to onboard Web2 through esports competitions, spaces, through advertising, reaching out to streamers as well, Twitch, and all those avenues. So people will be able to subscribe, and that subscription, again, like those people will be getting your tokens as well. So it actually works really well. If I'm Hedarian Dragons, what I want is everyone to have Dragma. I want everyone to have a bit of Dragma, to know of Dragma, and to transact with Dragma.
Yeah,
and what
definitely.
we're doing with Dragma Labs, the marketplace, the launchpad, and the gaming, is we're creating this automatic system where we're distributing your tokens everywhere. And every day you've got more holders added to your holdership because of this automatic redistribution, rather than this like really clunky re-centralization mechanism of just, have some coins and then give them back to me, right? It's so firstly, we think that like the unique tokenomics mechanisms are very preferable through our rewards scheme and the way that we've got the partners arranged. And the fact that now everyone can now transact with these tokens. Every HTS token is going to become very transactable on Hedera. We're not charging fees in HBAR for those either. So if you're selling something for Dragma or for H-Suite, the fees will be taken in that token. So the holders of the NFTs, the players in our games and other competitions, they'll be getting rewards in any number of tokens. We're going to have hundreds of transactions happening all the time, distributing all these tokens to everyone, right? All these tokens are going to be flying around Hedera suddenly, right? So that brings a use case to the projects, that brings value to holders of those tokens and the holders of the NFTs that emit those tokens, right? So Hedarian Dragons holders will still be the primary recipients of Dragma through our staking. So they'll still be in the tokens that they're getting will have more use cases. But also Hedarian Dragons, we're going to have our own ecosystem, just like every other project will have their own ecosystem.
Yeah.
While our fungible tokens come and mutate on Dragma Labs and create and take up all kinds of use cases, and our NFTs. There's use cases for NFTs in Dragma Labs too, but mostly, a lot of it's in fungible tokens. But because we've got all those use cases for fungible tokens, Hedarian Dragons can now continue to be its own brand. There's less pressure for utility and speculation on Hedarian Dragons' brand. That can focus on being about dragons and storytelling and lore and its own gaming ecosystem. So it allows the speculation to live in the fungible token, as it were, and then the brand to be as pure and powerful as possible in the brand ecosystem.
Will you be accepting other payments, like in other cryptos or like USDC by chance?
No, USDC on HTS, yes, we can accept that. Any HTS token or ported HTS token. We'd like to. We've been in talks with Blade and the other wallet providers. We'd like to have Web2 on ramp so that people can pay in dollars or fiat. But that's definitely the route we're going. Like, we're trying to build a platform that appeals to Web2 people. But the other thing I would say with the marketplace is our marketplace isn't a secondary marketplace. So actually our marketplace and Launchpad are both primary. The difference is our Launchpad is for those kind of big releases where you want that attention and that build up, the countdown and lots of eyes. And then the marketplace is going to be more of a store, right? So one thing that we're doing our minting is going to be ultra flexible. So what we can do is if you're a brand and you've got some purchasables for your token, say that's Lazy or whatever, or if it's Dragma, if there's purchasables for your token, we can actually give a choice. So at the moment, when you mint an NFT, there's say 1,000 serial numbers and you get a random one. But for artists and for projects that want to create a store, that's not useful, right? Like trading cards. I've got a bunch of non-character trading cards that are to complement the Hedarian Dragons. The only way I can launch those at the moment is on lots of separate token IDs, because there's no launch pad that will allow you to have one token ID, but people can choose which serials they want from that token ID. What we can do for artists, like I can say, all right, serials 1 to 200, You can mint randomly from serials 1 to 200, which are one design, something else from 201 to 400. So you can actually have an entire collection which people can choose from, but all on one token ID. So when you go to Zeus and the secondary markets, you can have all these different products still within the same collection. But when you actually sell it from the primary market, someone can say, I actually like that one. Like if you're an artist on Hedera and you're doing one of one pieces, you probably don't want a random mint, right? You want your followers to be able to pick the piece that really resonates with them. You can't do that unless you have a separate token ID at the moment on Hedera, which is useless because that's not a collection anymore. On secondary markets, when it goes to Zeus, it looks like separate collections, right? You want that to look like one collection, but maybe at the beginning you want people to be able to choose. So we're bringing crazy flexibility to creators so that artists have a proper place that they can launch now affordably. For everyone, it's going to be affordable. For everyone, there's going to be rewards. Every project that launches with us, they can know that some of the fees are going to go back to the community. And yeah, they get that verification and all the rest of it through community voting. It's truly community driven.
So what do you consider affordable in regards to the Launchpad? Like what will the percentage you'll be taking through Dragma Labs be?
So for the Launchpad, I believe it's 5%. I think that's as cheap as anyone pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. Yeah.
And for the marketplace, I think we're doing 2% or 3%. Pretty much in line with Zeus's secondary marketplace.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And for incubation, we're talking like around 10% probably. So for incubation, we'll mint for you, we'll market for you, we'll launch for you. We can do a gallery feature for you. If you wanted to do 1,000 NFTs on one token ID and you want people to be able to choose serial 1 to 1,000, it's going to cost you. It is going to cost you because it means that we have to manually create a mint for all of those separate NFTs. So that is going to be on a little bit of a case-by-case basis. But the idea for us is that we're going to have transparent fixed fees. For partners, it'll be voluntary to start with. And for all projects, if they're accepting a fungible token, a utility token, we're going to recommend high fees. Because again, that's good tokenomics. Why re-centralize your supply when you can put it in the bags of lots of new holders? Why do that? It's just a no-brainer to have high fees. But
that's a good point.
It'll be set at low fees, but we're going to be able to change the fees. Like if you're a team, we're going to be able to automatically distribute. Every time someone buys an NFT for 1,000 HBAR, we can send 200 to yours, 200 to your mates, 200 to someone else. It's going to be so flexible, and yeah, I mean the fees, like we're gonna stay competitive, but ultimately, like it's really just about the product, creating a fun, rather than the financials at this stage. We want to create an amazing game. It will be play and earn and play and own, but the focus to begin with is on creating a great game that not just Web3 but Web2 people can resonate with, a real brand with real characters. We've got a proper mascot who is the face of our game and our brand, and you're going to see him in our Launchpad marketplace everywhere, especially the game, of course. But we're creating. It's all focused on creating a great product that the community will love and bring lots of fun, lots of use cases that everyone can benefit from
and resonate with.
Yeah, and then and we will have to be a little bit experimental with how much rewards we distribute, how much, like for example, to start with, for the entire time, a percentage of all the revenue that we'll get from the marketplace and Launchpad, a percentage of that will be going to rewards. But we may have to kind of balance that, obviously, because we have to survive ourselves. In the early days, those percentages might be lower, and because ultimately at the beginning it's about innovation and fun, and over time then it will be more about, okay, let's develop these revenue streams so that we've got the fun, we've got the brand, everyone's loving it. Let's start thinking about revenue streams for scaling, essentially.
Nice. So speaking in regards to the gallery, will it be like a spatial gallery where you're able to actually interact with it, walk through it, tour the place, or what is this gallery going to be looking like in a sense?
The gallery is an interesting one, really. We've designed a gallery already, but we're not really rushing it. It's more of like we've got quite a lot of capacity in kind of the 3D world. Like we've got several 3D designers who are brilliant, and myself who's not brilliant, and and we've got capacity to build these things, and really we've got what we have now, and we'll probably release it quite similar to what we have, although we might expand it a little bit, I think. But the gallery and other things, like we quite like the idea of an events venue as well. Like we've been reaching out to teams like Loco Lizards and Royal Clubbers because, you know, I'm not an artist, right? And we like the gallery for one, like we see that as a thing for Web2 artists that we onboard, for example. Like I was talking to someone that we were onboarding from Web2, a tattoo artist, the other day, and for him, having the gallery is something that his Web2 following can kind of get some novelty out of. So the gallery, like not only the gallery, but also the launchpad, we're designing it so that it looks nice. It's not just a thumbnail with a GIF that kind of rolls over. It's designed to lend itself to like good art. Just like the gallery, we want it to be something that Web2 people can go, oh, cool, that's really cool. Like, not only can you mint for us, launch for us, and I don't need to do anything except for send you artwork, I can have a link to my gallery and I can send that out in my newsletter, and people can come and visit it, and they'll see, like, really I'm pushing the boundaries of innovation as well, and, you know, bringing something really cool. So, yeah, we're happy for the gallery to be fairly creator-driven as well, but we do have a base kind of shape. It's just designed to be somewhere that you can look about. There'll be informational stuff there. I haven't actually reached out on that part of it yet to who I intend to reach out to, but yeah, so you can introduce people to Hedera. They learn about what the technology is, and they can just browse and have a look at the artwork. We're not planning on gamifying it necessarily at this stage, but we'll release it. People can visit it. Artists can give us some feedback, and it'll be fairly straightforward for us once we've got the mechanics in place to kind of play with the design, make it. We could have different wings to it that we could open for special exhibitions, things like that. There's all kinds of things that we can do, but yeah, you know, it's something that we can fairly easily adapt with. Because the mechanics of it are fairly simple, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. I really like how you pointed out potentially having like venues and stuff for people like Local Lizards and Royal Clubbers, as well as the various other music NFT projects on Hedera, like Dirty NFTs, Vicente with Vicizis, and there's so many more out there. And I think that music and NFTs pair very well together in this day and age. And we have a lot of great talented artists within Hedera, and I think having venues where they're able to go and maybe, you know, perform potentially a song or have a small concert, I think that's really a really cool idea that will bring a lot more engagement.
Like coming to one concert, you could have a charity element to it. You can have other events. Like essentially, what I was thinking was like kind of like a festival type venue.
That'd be awesome.
But I was like quickly corrected by my co-founder that won't be quite as quick as a gallery. But the conversation went well, and, you know, like, music's doing, and that's the other thing, like, again, I've been reaching out to musicians saying, like, what does a mint look like for you? Because I'm not a musician, and I'm not really much of a music consumer, so I'm not going to kind of pretend I am and try and make something. Again, speaking to these teams saying, okay, what should a music NFT mint look like to the consumer and to you? And like, again, having that choice of mint, we're calling it a select mint, which allows you to choose. Perhaps you could have an album and you can choose singles, but still have it on one token ID as an album kind of thing, you know, and again, having those creator tokens and stuff, again, it all feeds into that tokenomics where, you know, everyone's getting all these different tokens and having loads of cool stuff to redeem them for. And
even possibly use it in the Launchpad.
Sorry, say again.
Or not Launchpad, Marketplace.
Say again, sorry?
You can also utilize those tokens within the Marketplace eventually as well, which would be really exciting to see, because I've never seen that in any other marketplace. So
well, I mean, and that's the brilliant thing about a platform like this. It allows so much opportunity to just spitball, right? Like it just you saying that, I thought, okay, well, actually I could have an artist's track in the game and be advertising an NFT in the game, that song at a certain point in the game. And this is kind of further on the roadmap, but you could have a song could start, and you could actually comes with a pop-up saying this person's playing. You click it and it takes you straight to the marketplace where you can buy that NFT or whatever. And again in the game. So and that's how Communifi comes into the gaming side. What we can do is, typically there are projects out there that they go and kind of spend some of their HBAR on NFTs and they raffle them to their community, things like that. What we can do is we can say to you, for not very much HBAR at all, we can say, okay, the alt kings, you've got your brand, you've got your NFTs, obviously your kings. Let's make a king character. Very quickly, we can make a 3D king character for you, make it really cool. You give me a brief of what you've got in your head. If you can't do that, then I'll do my best to come up with something myself. Our team seem pretty good at doing that. Okay, alt kings, let's create a king. What's it going to look like? Is it going to be an animal? Is it going to be human? Okay, we're going to create a king character. We'll create you a 3D avatar. We'll rig it. We'll create a cart for it. We'll sit him in his cart, and you'll be able to, anyone who's an alt king holder, you can airdrop that to them, or if you've got a token, you can sell it for your token on our marketplace, whatever you like. But we can create 500 of them for you, and you can airdrop them or get them to your community. And anyone who's got that, they can come and play the free-to-play version with your character. Or if they've got one of the Dragma collection, they can pay the competitive version with your racer. And we just, you don't need to go, okay, maybe we should bring out a game. Because, a lot of people are looking at themselves okay, what are our options with roadmap? Okay, game. A lot of people take that option, right? And
that's what you're right. Majority do think that.
It's a lot easier said than done. But what you can do is just okay, well, actually, there's a game there. If we build a game, we've got to go through the whole process of driving traffic to it and making it a success, hopefully. Whereas there's a community platform there that the whole community is engaging with. Let's just bring some utility to our holders without having to do anything. I just give a brief, walk away. An NFT, a bunch of NFTs falls into my wallet. Now I can sell them and bring loads of utility to, or I can give them away and bring loads of utility to my holders and expose we can have billboards in the game. We can have music. We can make a track for you in the game if you want. Expose your brand, bring more utility to your community. Your community gets to play with your asset alongside their friends. It's just a fun idea, and it's just accessible. It's bringing gaming to everyone and GameFi to everyone. We can bring more assets, and I'm not going to go too far down that route, but we're developing numerous types of collection to complement this as well, which again, any brand can get involved with, and it's going to be really, really fun, the kind of collectibles that we're working on. I'm looking forward to releasing them soon.
Speaking about gaming, this is kind of my last topic that I wanted to discuss with you all at Dragma Labs. Is there any games in the pipelines that will be coming from Dragma Labs, or what can we expect in regards to the gaming sector?
Sorry, can you repeat that? You broke up a little bit there.
I was speaking in regards to just gaming. I was curious whether or not Dragma Labs had any games in their pipeline in regards to that sector within your ecosystem.
Yeah, so we've got our first release is going to be coming short. We're planning on launching the marketplace and launchpad very soon. I can't give a date yet, but very soon after that as well is the plan to release the game. We're not releasing the game with the marketplace and launchpad just because it would just be stupid to try. It would just be a lot to manage just for the sake of emphasis, really. And really, we want people to get to know the marketplace and launchpad before we put too many layers on them. There's just too much to kind of digest.
Yeah, you don't want to overwhelm them.
No, exactly. So the marketplace and launchpad will come out probably exactly 4 weeks later. The game will come out, the first version of it. Again, the game is going to be built over time because it is supposed to. We do want more projects to have their races in the game. We do want other tracks and stuff like that coming out of it. And we've chosen to, as far as gaming is concerned for Dragma Labs, we've assessed the market and we believe that the type of gaming that we're going for is going to hit the sweet spot in terms of bringing value, fun, and community gaming to the community soon that we can all enjoy now, but also adopting a model that we think can easily be tuned to be marketed to the Web 2 world, right? We're kind of calling it like the Candy Crush model, right? Games that anyone can play, anyone can enjoy. It takes a bit of practice to master, but we didn't want to. We did a lot of proof of concept work on other games. Essentially, we almost built other games, at least in terms of proof of concept, to see what was possible. We had some great ideas, which essentially have just been put on a very, very, very high shelf for now. Like, we're not even looking at them, but we spent hours and hours like looking at some proof of concept stuff, and we kind of thought the kind of typical 1 to 3 year roadmap for a game, like it's very high risk for us. It would be very high risk for our holders. And you know, like, I think it kind of depends on hopefully the market really broadening a significant amount by the time you launch. Whereas if we create something that is simply fun and accessible that the community can enjoy today, well, to us, that's value, right? Our community is like, we spend a lot of time in Twitter and Discord, things like that, and those platforms are great. But let's start making Web3 platforms that we can really spend time in, that we can really enjoy. And really, that's what we think Web2 people want too. That, like, they don't want the speculation that is here. There will always be a speculative element, just like there is in, you know, Counter-Strike. There's still speculation, right? But Web2 people are fun and happiness and, you know, endorphin driven people, and speculation. You know, that they're not chasing it. No, they want great platforms. They want places they can go to have fun with their friends, and that's what we're creating for the Web3 community today and for the Web2 community tomorrow.
It's exciting. I look forward to everything that's to come. Is there any way you can give us kind of a base underlying concept behind this game that you'll soon be releasing, or is that too much to ask for?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, so we're going to announce our last partner tonight. You say you're going to release this in a couple of weeks. I could give you quite a lot, but I don't know how much I can give you. What I will say is, so we're going to start releasing sneak peeks of our characters and our kind of family of characters in the game in this coming week. It's a racing game. It's very much it's got its own DNA, its own characters who are going to have their own personality and storyline, but it's kind of trying to play on the fun and nostalgia of your Mario Karts and your Crash Team Racing, those kinds of games. But at the same time, incorporating the kind of frantic, kind of fun, fast-paced craziness of more modern mobile games. So it's just supposed to like bring back those nostalgic feelings that people had from playing games when they were a kid, and the other collections we're bringing around it is just going to layer onto that. Trust me, it's going to be brilliant. Like, nostalgia is something that we love and we think that everyone loves, but at the same time having that modern dynamic thing that modern Web 2 gamers are really smashing these days, just to bring something really fun, and again, easy to play and enjoy and have a giggle, but something that you can get really competitive with as well.
Will it be play to earn by chance? Yeah,
so again, the gaming isn't the only way that our rewards treasury will be distributed, but again, a percentage of all fees we take from the marketplace and launchpad, and some of the other services that we offer as well, percentage of all the fees will be going to the rewards treasury. 500 of the 1,500 NFTs of the Dragma founders tokens, 500 of those are going to be sold for fungible tokens, and all of the proceeds of those 500, all of the proceeds from that are going into the rewards treasury. So to start with the game, again, it is the main focus of the game is to build a great game. So to start with, it's the kind of rewards system isn't going to be implemented. We're just going to be stacking and stacking the rewards treasury for when it is. But it's by holding a token or by paying for the subscription, essentially you'll be unlocking. I mean, if if we sell a collection for every single Hedera token service token on Hedera, then everyone will be getting a fractional amount of every token on Hedera. Essentially, 7 tokens to start with plus HBAR will be in the treasury. So by holding that one NFT or by being subscribed, you'll be able to tap into those rewards. And then, any number of tokens from then onwards, you'll unlock, like with that one NFT, you're unlocking kind of easy on-ramps to pretty much any ecosystem that engages with the platform. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool, and there's gonna be other elements to it as well. Like again with the GameFi part of it for any project and for us, but also for the game itself, you'll be able to obviously accumulate tokens, go and spend those tokens for new game assets. So you'll be able to accumulate game assets. You'll be able to achieve things in game as well, unlock things. So again, it's important to be 100% focused on a fun quality product. But the play and earn element is going to be really cool because we'll be bridging so many different tokens with this platform, and these users will be, tapping into all these different communities by accumulating these tokens, going to the marketplace, spending them, and just bridging all these different brands around this cool rewards mechanism and gaming platform. And then different.
That's exciting to hear, Si.
With it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I mean, we're super excited. Wait.
I look forward to it all, and I really look forward to this game coming very soon. That's really it from me. You've answered all my questions. If there's anything else you'd like to touch up on at the end of this podcast, now's the time to do so. Once again, I appreciate your time, Si, and I really look forward to everything that's to come with Dragma Labs.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, I appreciate the time being able to talk about it. I know, perhaps it's a little bit difficult to follow because there's a lot to digest. A
lot in the making.
Yeah, there's a lot in the making. It all makes sense once the platform's live and you're engaging with it. But yeah, marketplace, launchpad, gaming, gallery, fun things that people can engage with and that the community can drive.
Don't forget about Incubator.
Yeah, and Incubator, because we should have platforms that are designed to onboard people and that work for artists. We should have a good art scene on Hedera as well. And I would say as well, we're doing a regular space every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's Game Changers. And again, it's just about fun. We had this word utility being thrown around, and it's still thrown around a lot. And, we're a bit bored of it, right? Fun is fun. Let's just have fun. Let's, use our NFTs, have fun in the space, keep building on this amazing community we've got on the platforms that we congregate around. And Game Changers is exactly that. Again, reaching out to other chains, learning from them, connecting different ecosystems, finding opportunity for collaboration and just enjoying the space, finding the fun stuff in the space that is really working and learning from each other so that we can build better.
Fun is everything.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of like a light bulb moment, really. And and every day is almost more of a light bulb moment. Like fun it's just obvious, right? Everyone likes fun. It's just obvious.
I mean, in SpongeBob, F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anyone, and all down here in the Web3C. That's what I think of it like.
Exactly. It's
corny, but it gets to the point.
Exactly. But yeah, I really appreciate this and appreciate everyone listening. I'm sorry if I've been a bit convoluted because it's a lot for me.
Oh, no, not at all. Tons of great information you provided tonight or today, Si. And once again, thank you for your time. I really look forward to all of your success that comes down the road. And as you continue to develop out Dragma Labs and the Hedarian Dragons project, if there's anything that you ever need, feel free to reach out. I'm here for you. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Alt Kings podcast, and we will next episode. Peace.